relationships with attorneys, with financial planners, with sports agents, and I have to see what is happening in the community too. Open my ears. What company went public? What who the executives are. One of my favorite places to advertise are the professional magazines that are specifically targeted at that trade.
Trade magazine.
Exactly. You'll get there's a doctor's magazine that doctors read, and there's nobody ever thinks about putting a real estate ad, and it's not like they block real estate ads, but you put one in, and doctors are going to see it. A doctor is not, for the most part, sitting down, or a busy attorney or a busy CFO or CEO of a company sitting down reading a society magazine. They're just not. They are reading these professional publications, and they're the ones who make the decision initially, I find, in the family to do something. Then the wife, the spouse, goes out and identifies properties that would work for the family, and he comes and reaffirms it, and the house is sold. So I want to access both,
right?
And I just don't feel that this other, the pretty pictures serve necessarily a purpose other than appeasing the seller themselves and attracting more listings. So, and that's just my opinion. It's an opinion. Some people see it differently. It's my opinion based on my personal experience in the industry.
Where do you see the market going? I mean, you're involved, obviously. Where do you see it? Has it bottomed out? Is it getting better?
People ask me that. The market is so area specific. We can look at a global picture. You take California. Where's the market going? Has it bottomed out? The problem is there is a lot of shadow inventory yes. That's in limbo. Mm-hmm. We don't know. It's not counted.
It hasn't hit the market.
It hasn't hit the market yet. There was a moratorium, as you know, through regulation, where banks were limited as to how many bank-owned properties they could release to market, mm-hmm. because they didn't want to flood the market, because that would really, really cause massive depreciation,
right,
and affect everyone. Well, what happens is, with that, you have kind of a bottleneck effect, because you have this pent-up inventory now, and at some point it's going to have to go. Not only is the inventory bank-owned, but there's a lot of non-performing debt out there.
Right.
There are banks who have just turned a blind eye. We would rather have someone living in the house taking care of it. We don't care if they're not paying right now, but at some point somebody's going to have to pay the piper. Is it going to be the California taxpayer, or is it going to be the borrowers themselves?
Do you see that a lot in the higher-end homes that you deal with?
I do. There are high-end homes. If I told you, I know of 2 to 3 homes north of $7 million where people have been living there with loans in excess of $6 million for 3 years
without a payment,
without making a single payment. So I see a lot of it. I see less of it now because some of those have been flushed out in this previous economic turn. Are there more on the horizon? Yeah, because I search property tax delinquencies, because I always think, hey, if somebody's not paying their property tax, there's some type of economic or at least financial stress there. And the next thing to go is going to be their mortgage payment.
Right.
So I've seen an increase in property tax delinquencies. I saw a decrease for a very short while, and now I'm starting to see an increase again. And I think that is definitely an indicator that we are due for another adjustment. Is it going to be to the extreme that we've seen over the last 3 years? I don't know, but I definitely think that the ride back up is going to be a rocky one.
Your areas of expertise are up and down the Newport Coast?
Newport Beach, Newport Coast, correct. The coastal area.
So a buyer that is looking in those areas, they need to be talking to you because you're the expert.
Definitely.
And how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can get a hold of me. It's area code 949-290-0772. Or they can email me. It's lancefogel22@gmail.com. That's the one that goes directly to my phone.
You have a particular listing we've shown on our Facebook page twice already.
Yeah. That is a great sleeper property. It's a property where, I've calculated the replacement cost of that property at around $7 million. The property currently is listed at $599.6 million. We raised the price. We did get a tremendous response. That's where I want to get to a point here where, properties are not equal. They have different lots, different views, different neighborhoods, but also different levels of construction.
Quality.
Exactly. It's not fair. It's like selling cars by the pound. Okay, you can't compare a property that costs $250 a square foot to build to a property that costs $1,000 a square foot to build.
Right.
They're just not equitable. And I'm one of those agents who's dead against this per square foot notion. I believe a property should be credited on its own merit, on its pedigree as far as construction, architecture, quality, and its view quality. I've seen views which are, you feel like you're going to drop in the ocean or the harbor, and other views where you actually have to go into a tower, into a window in the back and look through, and there's a glimpse. Yet they advertised as ocean view, both of them. They're not equal. So, I try to get people out of this per square foot grading of properties or pricing of properties, and I'm trying to get appraisers even away from that. I was fortunate enough, and some appraisers are sophisticated enough to do a cost approach when they're appraising.
Mm-hmm. They have to. They have to do it.
They have to do
both.
two,
Mm-hmm.
but they weight one over the other.
Yeah.
And to weight the cost approach when it comes to the evaluation, because it's very, very different. And you can't, for example, Newport Coast, their neighborhoods adjacent to these very, very exclusive neighborhoods that have sales. So if you take a radius analysis or comp, you're going to have properties that are selling for $250 or $300 a square foot versus properties that are selling for $700, $800, $1,000 a square foot. For $250 to $300 a square foot, it's barely possible to buy the lot, never mind a structure on top of it. So it's a shame. And that's when you go to Zillow and they've got the Zillow estimate, that's the way they're estimating it. So some people come to me.
But it doesn't work for those
doesn't work.
types of properties we're talking
It's
about.
production homes where you have literally hundreds, if not thousands, that are very, very similar in size and quality.
Right.
And that's it. These homes it does not work for.
Yeah. Great. Okay, and we'll put your contact information up on the website too, so if anybody wants to contact you, they can do that.
That'd be great.
And again, Lance, you've been a great guest today. Thanks very much
Jim.
for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Rates next week are going to remain low. However, we have a busier economic calendar next week than we did this week. This week there wasn't much. Rates just got better and better from one day to the next. Now, next week, starting on Tuesday, we have consumer confidence. Wednesday, we have new home sales. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. Now, even though we're in a new trading range, the range hasn't been set yet. So we are at all-time rate lows, but the range from one day to the next hasn't been set. I think with the news next week, we're going to get into some type of a trading range, but rates will continue to stay low. Now, our guest next week is Rishi Sharma. He is the CEO of Assembly Point Financial. He's a recipient of the Word and Brown 2012 Top 10 Health Insurance Agency Award, and also Orange Coast Magazine's 2012 5-Star Wealth Manager Award. It's going to be interesting to speak with Rishi, so please join us for that. Our feature property today is brought to us by Gail White of Coldwell Banker, Newport Beach. This is a beautiful back bay home located in the neighborhood of Dover Shores. The home sits on 2 levels and has panoramic back bay, mountain, and city light views both during the day and night from both of the levels. This home is the lowest priced for this prestigious area. The home has 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a large 3-car garage with a built-in workshop. The home's 4,000 square feet and has an atrium and relaxing in-ground pool. This beautiful home has an enormous deck in the back with a grass yard. Inside, you have cathedral ceilings, custom built-in granite countertops, and quality appliances, all in a comfortable and open floor plan. The open house for this property is today between 1 and 5 p.m., and the address is 1948 Santiago Drive in Newport Beach. We have pictures of this property with contact information for Gail up on our website at facebook.com/SwiftLoans. Be sure to go and visit Gail and this beautiful property today between 1 and 5 p.m. Also, don't forget, please post your listener questions on our Facebook page at facebook.com/SwiftLoans or send me an email to radio@jimcreamer.com. I will answer every question, and if I use your question on the air next week, I'll send you something nice from one of our local businesses here in the Newport Mesa area. The other thing that I wanted to mention about the Facebook page, every week we post pictures of our featured property with contact information and all that good stuff for that property and the real estate agent. But we also post pictures of our guests. So if you're listening and you're curious as to what the guests look like or even what I look like, you can get onto the Facebook page. We have pictures up there. And we also keep podcasts or YouTube recordings of all of our shows. So all of that stuff is up there. Be sure to go to the Facebook page at facebook.com and check it out. Thanks again to our guest, Lance Fogel of the Fogel Group. My name's Jim Creamer. I'm here to help you make a better decision when it comes to purchasing or financing your home. So tune in next week here at 8 a.m. for Mortgage Savvy Radio. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Mortgage Savvy Radio is brought to you by Swift Loan Funding. You'll find them online at swiftloanfunding.com or on their Facebook site at facebook.com/SwiftLoans. Be sure to tune in next Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for Jim Creamer's Mortgage Savvy Radio, right here on KOCI.